welcome everybody back to the 32-bit coffee show, where me and my friend MB Courtright get to talk about coffee and games and what we like about games
Yeah,
and theories and stuff. Just casual talk. For
yeah,
those of you listening on through a YouTube video, welcome. Yeah, you guys can see our faces. But if you're listening through podcasts, you know, I'm glad you're enjoying this with a cup of coffee.
that's right. And
Today,
it's my trade. I have some coffee today,
oh nice. Yeah, today, what are you drinking?
just regular coffee.
I have a cold brew right here. It's kind of warm today. As you can see, I'm sweating in the video.
Yeah, I thought you were working out.
No, I worked out in the morning today. I usually work out around this time. I,
Yeah, it's kind of hot today, but I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt apparently. So
well, you do live close to the beach, so I
that's
know
true.
California weather could get cold
Yeah,
along the beach side. So,
exactly.
audience, today we're going to talk about something very high level, and that is characters. There's a lot of aspects around characters, especially characters designs, from lore, avatars to how they look like, functions in the game, mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics. How they compare to movie and novel characters, their traits and personality, their voice, and where they play in the character web. So that's pretty much a high level overview we'll be talking about today, and then we'll also be going into the four different kinds of protagonists, as that will be explained by MB Courtright. I haven't been playing much games as I wanted to in the past years due to school and work, but I do keep up to date with what's going on in the industry, since I'm a game developer part time and I used to play lots of video games growing up. But I also seen a lot of movies and didn't read too many novels. Where this plays in character design is like characters get to they're different in movies. They're similar, very similar, but they are somewhat different when it comes to novels, movies, and games. In novels, for example, when it comes to like emotional, there's a balance between emotional and physical between those three. In novels, you get more emotional than physical with the character because you get to hear more of the character's inner thoughts. And with the movie, you don't really hear the thoughts, but you hear what they're saying. And I know it's not true in all cases. You could in some movies you could hear what the character's inner thoughts as well. But in most cases, I'm just talking about most cases. In games, you get to see more physical than mental actions through a character because the player is the mind of the character. So that's kind of how they kind of differentiate.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool that you draw these comparisons because another aspect I think that is different for each is the environments, right? So when you're reading a novel, uh, it's up to the person who's writing the novel to do due diligence and include the five senses, right?
Mm-hmm.
In words, like you have to be a pretty good writer in order to translate the five senses into words, and that's part of that character experience, like the experience of that character in that created world. In movies, it's a little bit different uh, because movie directors and cinematographers, they're able to play with colors and real world assets, which sort of creates an environment where certain aspects of the characters can shine, right? And it's a little bit more palpable than the novel. And then I think with the video games, what's really interesting is that the environment itself sort of plays a totally different role, in the sense that when you're playing a video game, at least this is my opinion, and you're, say, playing an RPG, you're sort of reacting through the character to whatever environment is put in there. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like this
Yeah,
relationship between character and environment. It's another aspect that we can probably draw a parallel between the three things that you've mentioned.
yeah, and I totally agree with you on that, and not just worlds like games have like provide like a simple fantasy over a character, and in a lot of the cases, game developers could get away with little to no lore in video games, just because most of the characters, like their avatar, is going to be consisting mostly of actions, like actions such as jump, shoot, and stuff like that. So,
Hmm.
like there is no right or wrong way. You don't have to include a lore or backstory, or
Hmm.
make a character kind of iconic. You could kind of make it a character in your own way. There's no right or wrong way, and developers have gotten away with no story or no background at all, especially like compared to novels and movies.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing about Avatar is that the character is basically the character that the player controls. The avatar is an extension of the player. It's like the player gets to be part of a different world through the avatar.
Hmm.
And developers could control how they emotionally and mentally control, how they emotionally and mentally involve a player to connect with the character or the avatar itself themselves. Um,
Yeah, and I think that's probably true on all three, but it's very different in each case. Like you said, for a video game designer, for example, they'll probably focus on how they can, what's the word that I'm looking for? How they can not interact, but sort of make a player react to a game, like uh, basically play the game. While a novelist, for example, might be writing a protagonist in a way where maybe the reader might identify, but it's solely the story of that character. It's not as involved as you playing a game and making all the actions. And then in movies, it's sort of a hybrid. Movies are sort of like a hybrid of a bunch of different art forms. So that's the way I look at it, anyways.
yeah, in movies, they're all based on perspective. Like movies could a lot of times third person perspective, not really, but like from side angles, of course.
Hmm.
Games could offer you either a deeper level connection to the character, either in third person or first person. And some games do it better one way or the other. In some games, a first person perspective point of view may not like connect you well with the character, because you won't see what's really happening to the character. Like if you see it in third person, the character getting beat up, you have empathy for that character. You connect more with that character.
Hmm.
That's one aspect in terms of like having a player connect. It's like when you read a novel. I don't really. You're the one that reads, but I'm pretty sure you connect emotionally with that character because you get so much detail when
Yeah.
you're reading. You're getting too much detail, inner thoughts, what they think, like a lot of lore.
Yeah.
They say that the book's better than the movie. You know.
Yeah, but at the same time, the thing with novels is, uh, it's like a empathetic journey, but it's not. It's not like video games in the sense that uh, the person experiencing that media doesn't have full reign, like total freedom in the experience. So the novels are nice, the stories are nice, but the ending is predetermined and
And there's no control to the player. I mean, there's
yeah,
no control. Yeah,
exactly.
we have. Yeah, I see. Yeah, and in that case, novels are very similar to movies in that regard. And
Mm-hmm.
in games, players have full control of what they want to make out of that character. In a lot of games, examples, a lot of the games uh, like for example, when you think of Mario,
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo has done. You may think that Mario is like not a finished character because he's so simple. He doesn't look threatening. Yeah, sorry, I thought I paused the video because I clicked on my keyboard. But yeah, back to my point. Like Mario doesn't
Time
look.
out.
I'll time
Oh,
out.
sorry. I didn't thought I saw that recording, but yeah, it's going.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Go
no, it's
ahead.
it's good. Yeah. So back to my point about Mario is that Nintendo intentionally made Mario look like a regular person. They actually made him based off an Italian plumber, a regular person that people could relate to that doesn't look threatening,
Mm.
and it's not as iconic as like Spider-Man or Captain America or any other heroes, and that's for the purpose of like having a player connect more with an avatar. But yeah,
Right.
then you have your Avengers games and stuff like that. That's things have changed as well. Like it depends. Like players want to play the games that they want they want to play the game that based on the character that they want to be. For example,
Mm-hmm.
if most players want to play fantasy games, or a lot of them do because they want to be like a wizard or a dragon, or ride on a dragon. They want to gain some kind of experience when.
Exactly.
So I think based on there's different roles for character, and there's different types of protagonists, as you said, and you had previously mentioned that there are four types of protagonists.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. Like in this journey, I'm probably gonna be learning a lot. And for this specific video with the characters, I sort of try to think back at all the games I've played in my life, and I was able to see that there's different types of characters. But I made some notes, so I think we should just go through them, and discuss. I want to see what you think from your game design perspective.
Mm.
So the first one I wrote down was the voiced protagonist, and that's like the way I see it. A voice protagonist already has a role and a morality in the game, and then the player is just there for the ride or to experience that predetermined story arc of that character.
So
Now,
basically,
obviously,
oh
yeah.
okay.
So that when I say that, I'm talking about the story behind it.
Mm.
Obviously, we already established that in terms of gameplay, player has much more freedom, but in terms of story construction, I think that type of character aligns with what you would find in a movie, for example.
Yeah, and not just story, but also probably with it's like an assistant in level design. Maybe the protagonist is trying to help the player do something, solve a puzzle, or in that voice protagonist.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I can find any examples. The only
Yeah.
example I really found was Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series. Like, uh, he has or maybe
Sebastian Castellanos from Evil Within. Uh, he didn't
yeah,
he didn't voice too much in the first one, but in the second one they try to give him more talk more in the game.
mm, yeah, that's cool. All right, second type, and I think this one's your favorite, is the silent protagonist, which I think is the one Nintendo loves to do. So silent protagonist for me is protagonist that doesn't really say much,
Like Link.
or like Link or Mario. Mario doesn't say much. It's me, Mario. That's it.
Yeah,
Right?
they're very
Uh,
minimal, very minimal.
so they don't
Cascade.
have a lot of lines, but when you see that character, you know what they are.
Mhm.
You know right away when you see Link, you see, oh, okay, this is the guy that's always saving Zelda, trying to save
Hyrule.
Hyrule, so you associate that protagonist with a structured story, but the protagonist's voice is not really present, right?
Yeah,
So
that's very
Mario,
common
Zelda,
in Nintendo games,
yeah.
and uh, indie games as well.
Hmm.
A lot of it is intentional. Some of it may be maybe not enough budget for a voice actor, but in the end, what you make out of your game is basically it, uh, what people. I don't know. Just people just would like. I kind of
Yeah,
blanked out right there. But basically, uh, yeah, no, I have nothing to add right there. So next
it's
point.
okay. But so I have a curious question that just popped into my head about this. What do you think? So Nintendo obviously has been around for a really long time, and before making these beautiful games, like huge games like Breath of the Wild, they used to make like 2D platformers, like the original Mario games on the Super Nintendo and stuff like that. How do you think the context of characters has shifted from that era of video games to this era where there's more story and more lore than previous eras. How do you think that's evolved?
I think apart from like the fans wanting more and more every year after each game that is released, I think in the end, uh, the game industry is an industry that makes money, and it comes down to branding. For example,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
people love Mario. Nintendo's going to brand Mario and
Yeah.
Zelda, and they all Nintendo also owns part of Pokemon along with Game Freak and Pokemon Company. They invest in characters to drive their brand. Their brand
Yeah.
is what sells to people. People love Pokemon. People love Zelda and Mario, Animal Crossing. Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
And they also made a huge investment with the the Shulk, the game with Shulk. Um, it's an RPG.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I forgot the name.
Chronicle. Yeah, I can't. I know the name, but I can't think of it now that we're podcasting. But if you guys know who Shulk is, he's in Smash Brothers, but he has his own game which I haven't played. So
Yeah.
Nintendo's investing heavily on a number of characters for the long run. They want to make like not only more games, they want to create lore, products, clothings, toys, applications
Yeah.
for phones. They made a freaking Magikarp game for mobile that you could
I didn't
play.
know that.
Yeah, it's just Magikarp, and people like
Is it like Flappy Bird where you just tap the screen and you gotta jump over the puddles?
no. I think you. I don't. I haven't played it. My roommate played
Yeah.
it all the time, but it evolves into Gyarados at the end, and you gotta let it go.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
basically an
haven't played
arcade
that.
game, but like because it was Magikarp and not some random fish, people
Mm-hmm.
downloaded it, and I think that uh, that's like character branding is one huge part of
Yeah.
Nintendo's success.
And then now that we bring this up, this character branding stuff, um, is I got this thought right now too, which is super interesting to me. Comparing the Zelda franchise and the Mario franchise. I don't know if you've noticed, but Zelda is more of the if it's more of a traditional lore,
Hmm.
whereas Mario they've sort of used that platform to explore different types of gameplay. So like Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, Paper
Hmm.
Mario, and I think that's brilliant. I can't think of any other instance where another company has done that.
Yeah, they use the same character brand to make different games, and
Yeah.
like you said, Super Mario Sunshine, all Galaxies, the old ones, the 64. They all bring different kinds of mechanics to the table in a way,
Hmm.
all similar, but they all what Nintendo likes to do is make a different game each time. They like
Yeah.
to, and you can kind of see it in their consoles as well. They never have the same controller. They always
Yeah.
make a crazy looking controller. Like the N64 was crazy, and then you have the GameCube one, which was really cool, and then the Wii, which was outrageous when it came out. I love the Wii, by the way. And now you have the Wii U, and then the Nintendo Switch. They always like make something different, and
Yeah.
they reflect that as well in their games. And Nintendo, of course, uses the brand Nintendo, but they also use the brand Mario and Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Nintendo. That's why they've been around for so long. And I think they're actually in a league of their own in terms of these quote unquote console wars. I
Hmm.
think they're on their league of their own. But to go back to these characters, so those were the first two types. Then the third type I found was voiced RPG protagonist. So voiced RPG protagonist to me is a protagonist that has his or her own voice, but the players themselves sort of make the decisions to sort of mold their morality. So, for example, Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher 3 or Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2 are two examples where they have a voice. Like if you're in a dark room and you hear Geralt of Rivia's voice, you know that's Geralt of Rivia.
Hmm.
But the player themselves in those games sort of mold these
Based on their
predetermined.
decisions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the voiced RPG protagonist, or
Mm.
that's the way I see it.
Basically, the player creates part of the story along with uh, possible stories.
Yeah,
Uh
exactly.
huh. Okay.
It's like if you were a video game character and I was able to control your decisions,
It's like
you'd
a
be
lot.
a voiced RPG protagonist.
Okay, I see. So a lot of a lot of like the engine is based on the player decisions that
Hmm.
causes characters to be the way they are. Okay.
Yeah, and a good example, maybe this could be a whole different video with the quest design, etc. But just to throw a good example of how this might work, there's, Witcher 3 is such an amazing game, and there's instances when you're in a quest and Geralt has to make a decision, right? And the player is the one who makes the decision. Uh, there's a mission in there where you have to decide whether or not you kill one of the other characters, for example, and that's a totally different morality, whatever you choose.
Mm-hmm.
But Geralt, at the end of the day, is still Geralt, so it's pretty
Okay.
cool. It's a cool
Interesting.
thing. And then, so the last category I was able to find was like the total freedom RPG character. So Dark Souls, Fallout 4, Skyrim, uh, I think Dragon Age Origins. I'm not sure if it's like that, but I played a little bit, not that much. But with the Bethesda games, for example, Fallout 4 or Oblivion. Let's go all the way back to Oblivion. Oblivion, which is Elder Scrolls 4, was the first game I played where I was able to sculpt a face. Right?
Okay.
It was
That's huge.
yeah, it was the first game I played. I don't know if there had been any other games before that to do that, but that was the first game I played where I was able to sculpt a face.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean by total freedom RPG protagonist,
Yeah.
And in these games, another aspect is that these characters don't have a voice, right? So if you play Skyrim or Oblivion, they don't have a single line in the
Because
whole game.
and that's intentional, so that way the player feels like they are that person.
Yeah,
Especially since
exactly.
it's already in first person point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that brings it to the point is like I did something similar when I played WWE games. I created my own character and became champion and stuff. It made me
Yeah.
feel like if it was me in the wrestling ring beating them up, I felt good. I made my own entrance song and stuff. And
Did you ever play the old WWE games?
the N64 ones, probably one of
No,
the
that it's more like can't
GameCube,
remember if GameCube
PlayStation,
or Xbox
SmackDown.
360.
I played the PlayStation 2 one, SmackDown. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, those are
I
good.
think yeah, you were able to create like your own player path
Yeah,
basically,
and
and you could do. There was one mode in one of the games which I loved, which was general manager mode,
oh yeah, I played
and
that one too.
you could create all the shows.
Yeah,
I love that.
you create the lineups, the matches, and stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always would do poorly, but it was fun.
I was the best at that, man. I should be the general manager. Yeah, but the thing about like creating your own character, that's for I'm not really that kind of player anymore. I kind of
Hmm.
I'm going for more, in my opinion. And this is just my perspective and what I like about games. Like I like playing games that I'm not like where I have nothing to do or can't relate to the character. I like playing as wizards, as I like
Yeah.
Overwatch, so I play a lot of Overwatch characters that I cannot relate to, but I wish I could be them. So I for momentarily, for just to play. But in some games where you cannot create a character, that's one thing. But some games also provide faceless characters where they don't have a face, where you could just see them in third person. A lot of indie games do this, and that's done on purpose because it makes you feel like more like you are that character. So
Mm.
faceless characters have a big impact on connecting the player to the avatar as well.
I don't think I've ever played a game with a faceless character.
A lot of mobile games and
Oh,
indie Nintendo Switch games have those.
yeah. The only game I could think of is like the racing games. You don't really see a person.
Yeah.
Like all the Need for Speed games and the Gran Turismo and Forza Horizon.
Hmm.
You know.
Games like F-Zero and those racing games is a lot kind of those are still avatars. In real life,
Yeah.
when you drive your car is an extension of yourself. When you
Yeah, that's true.
when you get hit, you don't say that person hit my car. You say like that person hit me. You know, you
Hmm.
that's what people say, at least here in California. I don't know about anywhere else, but yeah. Um,
So I have a weird question. Uh, you were just talking about that, and I just thought of this question. What's the and if you can't think of anything, we can skip it. But what's the weirdest avatar you've ever played?
from the top of my
Because
head,
playing like playing as a car is pretty weird.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, for me it's not that weird just because it's like culture, like it's part of our culture already. But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So weirdest avatar I've ever played. Ah, a bullet. I think it was
bullet.
bullet. Was
That's
it? No,
pretty
no, no, no.
cool.
It was not bullet. It was not a bullet because I was thinking of Enter the Gungeon, and all the NPCs there were just bullets, like shotgun bullets or
Seriously, that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. Those
I
are
haven't played that game.
yeah. It's a Nintendo Switch game and PC game as well.
I'm gonna get it.
Um, in terms of weirdest avatar, yeah, no, I played pretty much like regular avatars that are
Yeah.
human beings. You know, animals are one thing; they're not too weird. You know, I don't. There's nothing wrong. Like, I don't find nothing weird in playing like Donkey Kong or whatsoever. You know, but
Did you ever play the have you ever played the web games, the .io games?
yeah, where you play like a snake or something or a dog
Yeah,
and you try
like
to
or a
go.
blob.
Yeah, those are good avatars.
Yeah.
Examples of
Those
weird
are weird
avatars.
too.
Yeah, but those are weird means weird is also good. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's it, guys.
Dude, we gotta develop some sort of outro. I'm serious. We can't.
All
Oh,
right,
I know what the outro is. Okay,
I'm ready
ready?
for it.
We didn't plan for this. So Moitroid is a Twitch streamer, and whenever he gets a new follower, he does a yo-yo trick.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do the yo-yo trick here.
You gotta do the
No,
yo-yo
because
trick.
people on the podcast are gonna be like, "What's going on here?"
Well, you gotta do the yo-yo trick for the
YouTube, but
advertisement of
that's
the
not
Twitch.
okay. I will do it if you follow me on Twitch. I will do the yo-yo trick. But yeah, I will not do the yo-yo trick here in this YouTube video. I'm sorry to
Okay, it's an
disappoint you.
exclusive.
It's exclusively on
It's
Twitch.
exclusive on Twitch.
I make
Okay.
pixel art on Twitch, but yeah. But
All
that's
right.
well. We gotta think of a better outro for you guys. Thank you for all for listening.
Yeah.
Our goal next time is to have a better outro and even a better intro as well, because we're
I
just
mean,
starting.
that Moitroid, what do you think about the intro, the little song that I made?
Yeah, I like it. I think it could be better, but I like it.
Well, I made that in GarageBand,
Oh, okay. Oh,
so on my phone.
that's nice. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a good start.
So, well, you did a good job with the layout.
Yeah, I will. I will.
So at least we got that going on for us.
Yeah, I'm still planning to polish up this layout as well for those of
Yeah.
you watching the YouTube video. Yeah, so until next time,
Okay.
everybody, follow us
Yeah.
on Twitter and Instagram, Moitroid and MB Courtright. So,
Those
thanks.
are the personal accounts, but the actual 32-bit coffee accounts are in the description below. So subscribe, hit that little like button and the little bell, and follow us on this journey of awesome conversations with coffee.
See you guys.
Peace out.
Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye bye.